Welcome to the post-game live. Chris,
do I look all right? By the way, I feel like I'm in the darkness in here.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. Actually, it looks pretty good. I was wondering about that. I was wondering what the light. Scott Brown making an appearance. How about that?
We got Scott Brown in the background, just holding it down for us.
Before we get into anything that really matters, can you give a quick update on what you arrived at the RV, the scene that you pulled up on over there?
I mean, I thought the RV had been abandoned. I thought we had been robbed. All the lights were off. The door was open. There was nobody here. And then I talked to Doug about it, who's our gracious host here. I was like, hey, Doug, is anybody at the RV? And he didn't think anybody was there. So I come in here, I turn on the lights, and there's old Scott Brown passed out on the couch. I mean, if that gives you any indication of what the game was like tonight, right. I mean, dude was sawing logs here in the third quarter.
So there you go.
And I was almost there too.
So we're not going to waste any time. JJ McCarthy is really, really freaking good at playing quarterback. Period. Yeah. End of discussion. Signed, sealed, delivered. He's the starter. Cade, I'm sorry, man. You did a great job last year for Michigan. Here's the clipboard. If you want to go your own way, go your own way. It's over. It is done like dinner. JJ McCarthy made 3 throws tonight where, I mean, dude, it was palpable in the press box.
Yeah.
He'd make a throw and you look, and everyone's like, whoa, dude. Like, there was a buzz. I mean, 5-star recruits are chiming in. Dante Moore, a since deleted tweet, mind you. The Oregon commit tweets out, damn, JJ and Donovan is a crazy combination. And then he deleted it because it got a ton of attention because, what do you know, JJ McCarthy looks incredible when you let him wing it around a little bit. He only had to run the ball one time, and it was a little 16-yard cruise for a first down. But throwing the ball, the first throw out of the gate to Roman Wilson on the money, the flying Hawaiian, by the way, 2 touchdowns for your boy. You saw that coming.
Right. Yes.
Props to Chris for that. The throw to Donovan Edwards where I think he threw it 6 steps before Donovan turned around to look for it. It was one of the most timely on-the-money throws I've ever seen. And then, dude, the laser beam in the corner to Cornelius Johnson while on the run across his body. I went down the list. I counted 18 NFL quarterbacks that I don't think could make that throw.
Yeah, and it's fair. And I mean, you say you saw it up in the press box. Down in the field, it was just as evident. You could feel the energy in the crowd. Every time he came in, the big house woke up. Mm-hmm. And I think I was surprised Cade got as much play as he did, to be quite honest. But I think when Cade came in, they were facing the same defense. And you can see the difference between a guy who's mobile, a guy who's a true dual threat, and a pocket passer like Cade McNamara, because when everything collapsed around him, there was nowhere to go and the play was dead. If that's J.J. McCarthy out there, that's a rollout opportunity. That's a playmaking opportunity. And so ultimately, look, Cade's a Division I Power 5 quarterback. He's a good quarterback, and he can probably start at 90% of the other Power 5 programs.
You know where he could start? You know where he could start? Freaking Iowa.
There you go. I mean, Iowa, maybe Notre Dame after today. I mean, so I think it was clear. You could see the 2 guys were facing a similar situation, and one guy just excelled, and the other guy seemed to struggle. And that was apparent in week 1, too. And so it's not a knock against Cade. The reality is just the offense works better when JJ's out there. That's it. Bottom line, move on. It couldn't be any more clear.
Yeah, I mean, it was, as soon as he was out there, of course, everybody's excited. Like I said, the first throw out of the gate, boom, 42-yard touchdown. Yeah, yep. He finishes the night 11 of 12 for 229 and 3 scores. And the one incompletion was a drop by Ronnie Bell. It was a little behind Ronnie, but it was actually intentionally behind him because JJ tried to get it around the linebacker that was kind of in between them. It would have been a tough catch, but I guarantee Ronnie Bell would tell you he should have caught it. Yeah. He got both of his hands on it, but it was a tough catch. It was behind him on purpose, but it was a tough one. The ball placement the ball placement was perfect all night long. He didn't miss, whether he was on the move, whether he was standing in the pocket. Again, he only had to run the one time. He probably could have tucked it down and ran for 100 if he wanted to. Didn't need to do it. We talked about Vanderbilt's quarterback running for $163. I mean, JJ I tweeted this like after 3 series. I'm like, dude, he's not even going to sweat tonight. It didn't. Yeah. He looked like he was just out there.
Well, here's the thing: if JJ didn't sweat, I was sweating enough for the both of us, and probably half the rest of the team there too. So that didn't change from week 1 to week 2. Just so you know, I thought it would cool down a little bit. I'd be all right. Your boy is still a dead body.
All right. Well, a couple other things that stood out. I don't know. I'm still not going to say worry. There's no need to worry. But again, the running game, not as dominant as you'd think. It was good. I mean, like multiple guys scored a touchdown again. Blake Corum's over 80 yards, I think. CJ Stokes was over 50 or 60. Looks like Donovan Edwards got a little dinged up. That's a bummer and something to monitor moving forward. But again, not like dominant. Again, I said before the game started, Vanderbilt ran for 404 yards against that team. And I don't know. It just kind of felt like a sleepy game for Michigan. They do the first handoff to Blake Corum. I don't even know if there was a defense on the field. He's just like, let me just go over here, run around, we'll get shoved out of bounds. I mean, it just kind of had that feel. Everything they wanted to do worked. But again, the running game, no 70-yard house calls, no big time breakout runs for Blake Corum or Donovan Edwards. But I don't know. I mean, you're nitpicking, aren't you, in a 56-10 win when it kind of looks like that?
Well, you are, and I think you're going to get some people that are going to say, well, yeah, everything was working. Everything they wanted to do was working because Hawaii is terrible, which is partially true. But I go back to what I said before. Cade McNamara was facing the same defense out there, and it just looked completely different when he was behind center. So, again, man, I think everybody wanted to know what it was going to look like. Was it going to be settled? I can't imagine that we have a quarterback controversy moving forward. I know you put the story up. Right when the clock went 0, and I think everybody in the stadium, you could even tell when Cade, I think it was Cade came in. Was it the third quarter when he came in, and then JJ came back out? But it was like audible groans in the stadium that just like, why? That was basically what I was hearing, is why are we doing that? What is the point in doing that? And sure enough, JJ comes back out and the offense continues to run smoothly. So I will say this. I think Jim Harbaugh has given Cade McNamara every opportunity to retain his position as QB1. And unfortunately, the first 2 weeks, he just didn't get it done against, quite frankly, two teams that aren't very good. I mean, what was JJ's stat line? He was 11 of 12.
11 of 12, 229, 3 touchdowns.
So I really do wonder what this is perfect example why they need to start letting media into fall camp, because I don't know what the hell they were looking at.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm not really sure what they were seeing, but to me, you talk efficiency, you talk the ball not hitting the ground, you talk about low risk type guy. I mean, that's JJ McCarthy all day. So this whole idea, this whole notion that he was going to be a high risk quarterback, I didn't see any of that tonight.
By the way, I was one of maybe 40 people in the press box with a Hawaiian shirt on. Just want to put that out there.
Okay.
I'm with you, dude. I tweeted it. I don't even know when it was, probably early in the first quarter still. I'm like, what did fall camp look like? I cannot comprehend any scenario where those two looked neck and neck like we heard. I truly can't. And again, I'm not trying to disparage. I'm not trying to knock Cade or whatever he did last year or whatever he was for this team, being voted a captain. I understand, but the talent disparity is glaring. Dude, it is so obvious. The arm talent, the throwing on the move. We didn't really see the running game tonight, but we've seen it. I'm blown away. If there truly was a neck and neck quarterback battle, I don't know how that's possible. We did talk about some guys are just gamers. Some guys just when Saturday hit, they play a little bit better. And maybe you were seeing some of that with JJ, the recklessness, the carelessness, because he was so confident in his abilities. But he looks real good on Saturday. And to me, it doesn't even look close. Like, it's not even like, okay, I could see how these two might be duking it out. Like, to me, it's clear. I don't know. I'm surprised it went in 2 weeks into the season. I mean, I'm getting multiple, all my friends and family know what I do. I'm getting multiple texts after every throw. Like,
same.
I'm like,
same,
I know. I mean, it was just that obvious to everyone. I'm really curious. People were talking about, what do you think Jim Harbaugh is going to say in the post game? Not much. I think he will have to, kind of put a plan together and discuss it in depth on Monday. I mean, he's not going to name a starter tonight. He's never going to do that, I don't think.
But keep in mind, though, I mean, this was his plan. This was his timeline the first 2 weeks, right? That was, I mean, put out an official statement, a written out statement on social, basically saying what they were going to do the first 2 weeks. And so going back to what we talked about before, we thought JJ was going to go out and have a good game. Sure as hell he did. If the goal was to find out who the best quarterback was the first 2 weeks in, they did. They found out.
They found it out. There's no doubt about it. Quick little shout out, Ronnie Bell, 6 catches. There you go. That's the number you wanted to see.
There we
Ronnie
go.
Bell up over 6 catches, got himself a score. I mean, dude, literally, I just remember Ronnie Bell was the other one who scored the touchdown. Every touchdown pass that JJ had was a thing of beauty. I mean, he put it on Ronnie Bell's, right around his head, high up area so he could go get it. Nowhere else could get it. Low linebackers could tip it. It was going to get to Ronnie or it was going to go out of the back of the end zone. The first throw out of the gate to Roman Wilson was perfect. And, dude, that throw to Cornelius Johnson was – dude, the NFL scouts in here are already talking about, like, let's keep 9 on the radar. Like, that's the dude. That's the guy. I'm not kidding, dude. I went down the list and made a list of the NFL quarterbacks that I don't think can make that throw. Jared Goff can't make that throw. That's 100%.
Hell no.
Matthew Stafford right now, in his day, he's making that throw. I don't think he's making it right now. Kirk Cousins, he can't make that throw in his most fantastical of dreams. He's never even dreamed about making that throw. Daniel Jones.
Did you really have to bring up Kirk Cousins on the post-game pod?
Absolutely. You know why I brought him up.
Yeah, well, not a fan of the guy.
Davis Mills. Davis Mills wants a J.J. McCarthy autograph. Joe Flacco. I can't believe he's starting this weekend. Like, what are we doing? Anyway, like I said, I made a list all the way down. I was this close to tweeting it out, and I'm like, there's gonna be too many dummies that are gonna come. I'm not gonna do it. I'll say it in the post game. That throw was incredible. That throw to Cornelius Johnson needs to go on a highlight clip and say, like, that's the guy. There's nothing about it. I did say fantastical. It's a good word. What was the other thing I wanted to discuss? Oh, the pass rush this week. We thought 5+ sacks. I think Hawaii just got it out way too early. They only had Michigan only recorded one. Maybe there was one late sack when it mattered. I think there was only one. Mike Morris got to the quarterback, got a nice sack early, but I just think it was a product of Hawaii getting rid of the ball too quickly. I mean, they obviously saw the film from last week. They're not going to let their quarterback take shots all day and get hit and beat up when he's throwing it 35, 36 times. He only had 61 yards through the air until this very last, 2 drives when it was against a lot of backup guys, freshman players. Dude, just another really impressive performance. 56-10. Michigan didn't quite cover that massive spread we talked about. You were pretty close with your score, though, right? Just a touchdown off.
63-3, I think. Yeah.
Was it 3? I thought you said 10. All right,
I had 3. I think I had 3. I thought they were going to get a late field goal. I'm surprised they gave up a touchdown.
Let me ask you. If J.J. McCarthy and the starters play that whole game, what's the final score?
I mean, I don't know. It's in the 70s or the 80s. For sure. We talked about Brad Robbins. I know we didn't think he was going to punt the ball at all, and he got a few. I know he had at least 2 punts from what I can recall. But yeah. I mean, if JJ plays the whole game, that's it's a bloodbath.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt about it. So I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not even going to put you on the spot. I know who the MVP was. 110,000 people know who the MVP was. It's number 9. He's your starting quarterback. He's going to be the starter for the rest of the year, and if he's not, there will be a revolt. Period.
There's no question. You could hear it in the stadium. It's number 9.
I'm seeing some comments right now that Harbaugh said JJ will be the starter next week. So maybe maybe he had a fantastical dream as well, and he just couldn't hold it anymore. He's like, I saw what you all saw.
What's the
Here
point
it is.
Waiting. There's no point in waiting. Just say it and move on. Like a Band-Aid.
I just didn't think he would go there tonight, but it's obvious. He doesn't even need to say it, honestly. But if he did, good for him, because it was that obvious. So there you go. I will have that press conference information in my hands here momentarily when our beloved Josh Taubman, dude. By the way, Josh Taubman, didn't know this about him. Dude owns like 15 Hawaiian shirts. He supplied the entire daily with Hawaiian shirts tonight.
I am not surprised by that.
You're not surprised by that?
No.
That's interesting.
No. He's got Hawaiian shirt guy written all over him.
I could see that. I could see that. Brandon, that's a great question. How many players did Michigan play tonight? Last week it was 84, and Jim Harbaugh said he would like to break that record and keep improving that. And I think there were a couple guys that played tonight that didn't play. I don't know if anybody else out there knows. If I couldn't hear the broadcast, does anybody know who was wearing the number 1 jersey on defense with no name on the back? I scoured the roster. I looked up and down, and I could not figure it out. My gut and my hunch is that it was Miles Pollard, who normally wears number 24, but I don't really know why he would have to have switched his jersey. I'm seeing Walker thrown out there. You're talking about Omarion Walker was playing some defense, because that's pretty cool if that's the case. I really didn't know who it was. All right. Looks like it was Omarion Walker, the number 4 receiver on offense.
Yeah.
Went over and played defense and wore the number 1 jersey with no name on the back. I like that. I just wasn't sure who it would be. I was trying to look up and down the roster, looking at defensive backs. I didn't know that they put a receiver.
You know when we can look at it, Brandon? You know when we can look at it? When it's not 1 a.m. That's when
fair.
We can look at it. We can. Do we have a lot of people in here? Are there even people watching?
Just 250. No big deal.
That's it? Wow.
Yeah. That's I think more. I think that there's more than there was last week. Anyway, yeah, we're gonna pack it in. 16 minutes in, I got to go back downstairs, get my phone, get that press conference footage, make my way over to the RV. Hopefully,
you got to log some miles, brother. You got to log some miles.
There is a high probability that both Chris and my dad might hit standby before I get there.
Well,
Chris is notorious for it. Chris is notorious for it. My dad has perfected it. Hitting standby.
It just happens when you get
knocking
to a
out.
certain age. Yeah.
There you have it. JJ McCarthy, MVP. He's your starter. I got my cords this time. They're already packed up. Now I just got to wait and get the phone in my hand for the press conference stuff. So everybody, thank you so much for listening to us at 1:00 in the morning, dude. Like, are you kidding me? Over 250 people. Unbelievable.
Awesome.
Awesome. We will be back on Monday night. We'll have a lot of stuff to talk about. We got burning questions. We got the press conference stuff. The JJ McCarthy era is upon us. We will hear from Jim Harbaugh on Monday afternoon. We'll talk about it on Monday night. Thanks for listening, everybody. See you in a couple days.